Hello and welcome. We're back in the Story Power Lab, and today we're talking about the customer story. Customer story. I'm going to give you an example of what a customer story is. You know, lately we've been talking about doing all this research. Requires work, requires head scratching. When we think about buyer persona, we're thinking about, are they men or are they women? Are they young, are they middle-aged, or are they old? What kind of work do they do? Are they an executive? Are they a middle manager? Are they an employee? Are they a founder? Are they a solopreneur? Do they work in non-profit or do they work for profit? How much money do they earn as a salary or as a business? What kind of business problems do they solve? That's all buyer profile. But then when we think about business and the work that we do, you know, unless you're uniquely different than I am, I don't really want to work with people that I don't like. I want to work with people that I like a lot. It makes life so much more pleasant. If that's true, then the buyer persona side of this matrix that we're building says, if I like the arts and I like sports and I like dogs, then my ideal buyer persona might like the same things. Because if they do, we have a basis for having a relationship around dogs, the arts, and sports that I might not have with someone else. And when I take the buyer persona and the buyer profile and I know them so well that I can write them down and add them to the matrix, I'm beginning to understand their narrative. Now here's proof of understanding their narrative, and this is where we're heading. We do this work so we can write a letter to the confidant of our ideal prospect and write that letter as if we were them. So for instance, if my ideal prospect, and here's just an example of one of them, is a woman who's a business owner, has employees, has been in business for several years, is making several $100,000 because she has to make that much because she has to pay herself and her employees and all the infrastructure that supports the business that she's in. And she's successful. She's had success throughout her career. So now as an entrepreneur with employees, in a business that is growing, she's reached a plateau. And when she goes to networking events, she hears people around her saying, well, I'm doing Snapchat and it's working fine. Or somebody else is doing Periscope. And somebody else is blogging, and somebody else has started a podcast, and somebody else is doing this and doing this and doing that. And she hears all of the ruffles and flourishes of all the wondrous things that people are doing, but she's smart enough to know that those are the tools that people are talking about, and she doesn't quite understand how using Periscope is a strategy. So when I challenge myself to sit down as this ideal prospect, the woman, one of the several ideal prospects that I've built into Matrix 6 and understand as best I can, I understand that she's maybe writing to her college roommate, somebody that's her confidant, somebody she's always had these kinds of conversations with, or maybe it's her mom, maybe it's a high school friend, or maybe it's somebody from childhood, somebody that she can be open and candid with and honest. But in this example, let's say she's writing to her mom, and she gets a pen and she says, "Dear Mom, things are fine. It's been a while since I've written. Just came back from Disneyland with the kids. We had a blast. We spent a lot of time in the park, and boy did we spend a lot of money, but I have to tell you, the smiles on the children's faces was amazing. It was well worth it. You know, business is growing. As I told you last time, we've added 2 new employees. But you know, Mom, I'm a little concerned because I think I've plateaued and people around me are doing all kinds of interesting things that I'm not sure what I should be doing. I don't know if I should be doing Snapchat or Periscope. I don't know if I should be starting a podcast or blogging. I just don't know, Mom. And you know, Mom, you've always been somebody that I've confided in and told When I'm confused or I'm troubled about something, and I'm troubled about this, I need to know how to make the right decision to raise the profile of my business so we can grow, because now I'm responsible for even more employees. And I'm responsible for my kids, and your grandchildren are the center of my life. So Mom, you've always been good with giving me advice. Do I just follow what most of the people are doing out there? Or do I follow my heart and I look for something more meaningful? Because I am about making meaning in my life and the lives of my children and my employees, but most importantly in the people that I founded this business to serve. Your loving daughter. Bye for now. What that letter embodies is all the stuff that we put into this matrix allows us to know the narrative of our ideal prospects so well that we can actually write that letter as if we were them. And when we are writing that letter, we're actually telling their story. We're telling the story of their narrative, of their opportunities. The business is growing. Just came back from spending a ton of money at Disneyland, making her children happy. She's got new employees, and she's concerned about their welfare. She sees people at networking events around her doing all kinds of incredible things. At least that's what she hears. Snapchat, Periscope, blogging, podcasting. And she's just not sure what she wants to do. That's my ideal prospect, because I'm about making meaning as well. And I know that the tools like Snapchat and Periscope and vlogging and blogging and podcasting are just tools. They're in the toolbox. But absent having a strategy and a plan, I don't know which tool to use. And what I do at The Art of Standing Out is help the people that I work with select the right tools. My ideal prospect, that I was kind of ad-libbing that letter, embodies that whole idea. I've done the work to understand her and her opportunities that she celebrates and the challenges that she's wrestling to the ground, and I can enter that conversation because I know what she's trying to wrestle to the ground and bring value. You have the same opportunity to know your ideal prospect so well that you can get your pen and a piece of paper out and actually write a letter as if you were them. When you can do that, you've done the work and we're ready to go. We're ready to then begin marketing and selling to them because we're speaking in a voice that we know will resonate with them. So once again, let's get started. I'm having fun. Hopefully you are. Subscribe to the YouTube channel where all of these videos are archived, because there's more than what I've posted here. I'm going to try and keep a steady diet coming to you of this kind of content to help deconstruct the value proposition and then bring the process of how we use these tools to help us grow and accomplish more. So until next time, thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.